up, guys? Welcome to Chasing Pelagics. I'm Jeff, and this is your SoCal fishing forecast for Thursday, April 13th. Quick look at our weather here. We've got that early June gloom, a little bit of fog, a little bit of drizzle, some wind on the outside, and as you can tell, we got some cloud cover coming through over the next couple days. Temps remain in the low 60s and then start to warm up a little bit further in the week when the sun starts coming out, but we'll keep a close eye on this for now. Quick little El Nino update. We're currently coming out of a La Nina, if you're not aware, for the last 3 years. And for those of you that might be new to the larger bluefin fishing scene in California, we didn't really have these fish until after or during the La Nina of 2015 right here. And it's really just this period that we've had them. And then going back before that, we didn't really see them until before this chart was ever made. So to kind of give you an idea of how spoiled we are right now with the type of fishing that we have, despite the terrible conditions we have at the moment, it's still pretty good, and we're still feeling pretty lucky about it. So, but I just want to go over a couple quick things here. 3-year La Nina cycle. We've only had a couple of these in history. And that's the blue numbers here. The red numbers represent an El Nino. And the thing I want to point out here is how quickly we are exiting this La Nina. We went from -7 to 0.4. I'm going to bring up a couple other images here. So when they come up with their average for an El Nino, it's from 5 different zones. So this is the Nino 1 and 2 zone, 3, 3.4, and 4. And obviously, 0.5 and -0.5, that's kind of like the neutral zone. Above 0.5 is an El Nino. Below 0.5 is a La Nina. And you can see how quickly we are exiting on this model. At least this area is going very quickly. This one seems to be a little bit slower. This one's a little bit neutral, and this one's still kind of lagging. And we posted a picture of all 5 of these and how quickly they are moving. And this model in particular hasn't moved this fast since 1955. So I wanted to bring you back, way back, to right here. And we went from a 0.5, a -0.5 to a 0.7 6 months, and then we had a pretty strong El Nino, all the way to 1.7, 1.8 coming out of that in the next year. So all the things that we're seeing now, we're saying that El Nino is coming. We had the little bit of rain extra this year, seemed pretty nice. But our water temps are cold still, right? So that's still a La Nina thing going on, but it's broken down, and we've now allowed the jet stream to come in lower, and we're starting to see more storms come in, and then this warm water will eventually get here, and we'll go back to more of a neutral sign. So we're seeing the makings of potentially a really good year coming, with a strong El Nino, hopefully. And this is kind of the current prediction cycle that we have right now. The neutral, this is February, March, April, and these are divided into 3 months, so March, April, May. These neutral cycle has pretty much gone out the window to 30%. El Nino probability coming back is up to 60, 65%. So, things are starting to heat up here. So these are predictions. There's still a lot of variables, but we're starting to see a little bit of changes in the environment. If you didn't see all the downwind sailors that have been washing up on the beach here on the news, you've probably seen these offshore. They're jellyfish. We haven't really had them right here since 2014 on the beach. So brings me back to the El Nino of 2015. So we don't really know yet, but all the signs are pointing that something is heading in that direction for sure. But this is our wind situation. Unfortunately, it's still windy out there, and I wanted to point out this exact model here, and this is what we call the California eddy. If you're not familiar with it, we have winds from the north, and what happens is they come around the Channel Islands past Point Conception. They grab this chain of outer islands here, and so we call it the Coriolis effect. So winds from the north will always turn left and come onshore. And what this actually does is help drive these currents further north. Um, and this causes downwelling, which helps heat up our water temperature. So I know despite the cold, overcast days, the days are longer, and this current and this wind condition is actually helping our water temps, despite what you might think is going on at the beach, but it is helping. Unfortunately, that cloud cover also is blocking our charts. So we don't have a really good updated chart, but we can go back to our famous 8-day chart here, which is a tough average, but I think it's a fair chart here. And these orange colors represent 60, 61 degrees. You're starting to see some water temps backside of Catalina warm up in the front here. So that effect is starting to bring this warmer water in, and that's going to help our fishing as we really get into the fishing season. I mean, honestly, like I said, until Memorial Day weekend, that's kind of like the kickoff really for the fishing season. And a couple of last years, it seems to become a month earlier. This year, well, hey, you know what? It's come a little later, but it's still pretty early as far as things go historically. So that being said, we got a little bit of wind out there. We got some nasty swell on the outside. Small craft advisory through Thursday morning. So that's what's going to happen with that. Yeah, fishing. If you've been following on our website, we do a reports section now. And I try to give you the latest, greatest information all the time, other than our weekly videos. But as you can tell, I updated here on Monday, telling you about what is going on. And lo and behold, I said, we should be looking around for sea bass. And guess what came knocking 3 days after the full moon at Catalina. So since then, we've had a little bit more pickup on the sea bass front. Channel Islands have seen a little bit pop up, nothing crazy, but the wind has been blowing, so it hasn't really been hit hard yet, but we'll see what happens. Find the squid beds, you'll find the fish up there. They've also catching them just like last year on those little white fluke baits. They look like little white swim bait with a lead head. Those are going to work too. There's no reason why they won't work down south as well. Just people just stick with the usual stuff that works. And that's usually dropper loop, live squid, dead squid, one of the two, doesn't matter. My personal favorite is with Aki twist hook, usually like a 6/0, 7/0. You can also fish them with a sliding sinker, another good choice for that mid-water column stuff. And for you guys that are fishing on sport boats, personally, I've had this happen to me multiple times, but if everyone is fishing a dropper loop, right, and everyone's shoulder to shoulder going around the boat, what happens is these fish, they swim in the big schools and wolf packs. They'll come through and you'll get a bite going. They'll gobble up everybody. And the first fish that gets hooked wraps the next 5 guys next to him in the big circle. And then you're all caught up into each other. So what I found is if everyone is fishing a dropper loop, I'm fishing a sliding sinker. What happens is as soon as that squid gets bit, the fish will pull drag and he'll start gliding up to the surface and out. And that way I'm not in anybody's mess, and you'll find to be a lot more successful with that. So whatever everyone else is doing, do something a little bit different, and you'll tend to be a little bit more successful. On that front, we've been working really hard to bring a lot more new stuff to the store. It's really hard being strictly an online retailer and getting distributors to work with you. But we've made some progress. Things I've added this week. Must-add rip rollers for the bluefin guys. Zakanas from Daiwa. I really like these jigs. I think I actually like them more than the Colt Sniper from Shimano. I think I'm starting to like these a little bit more, but really great jigs. As always, we always got West Coast jiggers. You guys know. Lures, what do we add? Started adding some Nomad stuff. I do have some Mad Max coming. They're definitely coming. Nomad Riptide, those stick baits. DTX minnows, they work just like the Rapala Magnums for yellowtail. If you've never tried them, great lure. I can show you catching fish on them any day of the week. What else do I got? Muscads, Mad Scads. Cool little twitch bait lure. I like them. I'm going to try and fish them a little bit more this year. I think they have a lot more potential than what people have ever tried, especially around here. I know they work great overseas. So definitely got that going on. Hooks, as I mentioned, guess what? Owner hooks. I'm a big fan. Aki Twist, I told you. I only sell what I like. Also, the Gorilla hooks. I got you the ringed ones and also the standard ones. I like the ringed ones for light bait. I think the baits swim better. They tend to last longer. And if I got a bait with a hook through it, I want it to last longer. So also super mutus as well. So there's some of the stuff we're adding here. But yeah, definitely have a lot more stuff coming in. We got some Mag Bay lure stuff coming in. If you haven't seen their new Mad Dog, it's definitely a really good competitor to the Mad Mac. They told me that they tested it up to 20 knots. So that's pretty legit. So just came available, so hopefully we have it in another week or so. And then we'll be restocking some other stuff too as it comes in. So big things coming to the store, and I appreciate your support. We don't ask for Patreon or anything like that. So if you could help us out in the tackle section, greatly appreciated. Back to the fishing. So sea bass, it's been popping off last couple days. There has been some smaller fish, 18, 20 pound stuff. There's been some shorts too. So what you want to do is obviously find the squid, find some structure in that same area, post up. You got to have current. If you don't have current, it ain't gonna work out for you. If you start hooking shorts, find a piece of structure in the same area but a little bit deeper water, and typically that'll be bigger fish, bigger grade, almost always. Juveniles tend to hang in the flats, the more shallower waters, and the bigger ones are just a little bit deeper. So let's say you're catching shorts in 50 feet, move out to 80, 90, maybe 110. Find another piece of structure that's right in the same area, and 9 times out of 10, if there's bigger fish around, that's where you're gonna find them. So don't get hung up if you're catching shorts. If you're catching shorts, they're biting. So that's the biggest thing. Find them and make them bite. That's why they call them ghosts, because half the time you can't find them. So that's really it for Catalina. They've been selling squid out front. So if not, you might have to make your own. Call Channel 11. Nick and SBI, they both got looked at last week. Wasn't good. You can tell this water's still really cold. We're in like 54 right here, still in the 56s. So until this water warms up, I really wouldn't be targeting this area. San Clemente Island has been on like Navy attack for the last like week or so. So it hasn't really been getting looked at. Last time we checked, there was definitely some good halibut fishing, but most of the other stuff wasn't really showing up. I know that Jeff Markland on the Thunderbird is trying to hit this thing hard this weekend, and probably a couple other guys as well. So once this thing opens up, I think tomorrow the schedule starts looking a lot better. You can hop out here if you want to try your first shot at yellowtail at St. Island. Today, I will tell you that Sean on the Pride at 22nd Street whacked the sea bass pretty good. They had a lot of casualties, so I think he had some openings as well. They'll leave tomorrow morning early, so check the schedule. I know this is late notice for most of you guys, but he is a hell of a fisherman, and he whacked these things pretty good last year. And also, if you want to take another good look at this area on a more smaller platform, check out the guys at Bite Sport Fishing. Always run a great operation. I'm hopping on, I think we're fishing the Freeman May 7th. It's a Sunday. But yeah, in about a month from now. So Fishing should even be better by then. I'm fishing with another guy that has been on there with me last time. We whacked him pretty good last year, and I think there's like 2 guys on there, so there might be 2 more spots if I'm correct. But hit up Bite Sport Fishing, and Brandon will take real good care of you. Coming down south, there's a little run of yellowtail on the northwest corner of La Jolla. This is that typical wintertime fishing. You see them some days you don't. I personally wouldn't chase these unless you got a lot of time in your hands or you got nothing else to do. But honestly, it's just too early for it. That's there. Like I said, if you got nothing else to do, you want to scratch it. Yo-yo jigs down deep. You can try drop a loop too with a bait as well. Below the border, coronals are still looking pretty nasty. The water's turned over. It's green. It's still a little chilly. And then to give you a better idea, I'm going to use some bottom detailers to actually see the contours of what we're talking about. But as we mentioned a few weeks ago, we had some fish way down here at the bumps, which is not even in this picture. And they've been working their way up to the Outer Banks. And we've had a much closer sign of bluefin tuna this week between the 390 and the 60-mile bank. This is called the Cross. And there's kind of a trench in here with high spots on both sides, and you kind of get a line through there. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. But a couple of boats have been out here. This is really day-and-a-half territory if you want to hop on a sport boat. All the bites have been coming tonight. All of them. We had some fine line stuff down here. I'm not saying it won't, but the majority has been coming on at night. So if you're going to hop on a boat at night from San Diego, this is about 55, 60-mile run to this area. You hop on at 9, 11 knots. You do the math. You're not getting here until 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. You can fish it all day, but if you got to go back, it's going to be too late. So really a day and a half is really the time to hit this area on a sport boat. So day and a half or longer. The fish have been like 20 to 50 pounds. They're not big ones, but they're still going to be fun. So stick to the smaller profile jigs, whether it be a flat fall, a Daiwa SK, something that's smaller egg shake, that West Coast Jiggers HD jig. That's a little bit more weight to it. It's like a 350 gram, but somewhere between 200 and 400 grams, just kind of depends on the wind. Just bring a couple smaller jigs. You don't need to give them the big old fat long ones just yet. When those big boys show up, that's the ones you want to give them. So stick to the smaller profile stuff for now, and that's really going to be your best bet. And then as this water warms up, these fish in this area are, you're usually going to go to the Butterfly, San Salvador Knoll, and then usually still 43, and then you get some that go left, you get some to move up. So we'll keep an eye on how things go. But really, this chart is going to help us, and you can tell we got some cleaner water in here, so kind of see what we're looking at here. But this is the 8-day chart, so we'll see what happens. This stuff is more than likely going to turn into a red tide when the sun comes out, so we'll see. As long as it stays against the coast, I don't want it to start coming across the Catalina like it did in the years past, where you got that thick, creamy milk across the surface. Is disgusting. So let's keep it along here for now. But other than that, things are doing the typical early season thing, and let's see how they shake out below the border for now. So that's it for this week, guys. Cheers. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out our website and online store at chasingpelagics.com. And make sure you share the stoke.